2025 special magistrate proceedings for the city of Daytona Beach. At the outset, I've reviewed and approved the minutes of our November 11, 2024 meeting. Do we have any announcements before I proceed into this morning's agenda?
Yes, sir. We have a couple compliance. Page 3.
Page what now?
3.
Okay.
Case number 8, SMG 01-25-09, 236 North Frederick Avenue, compliance 1325. Page 6.
Page 3, case 8. Compliance.
Page 6. Case number 18, SMG 01-25-20, 236 North Peninsula Drive. It's compliance 11325. That's it.
Very good. Will those representatives for the city of Daytona Beach who will be testifying at this morning's proceedings please stand and be sworn?
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? Thank you.
All right, we need to take a couple cases out of order. So we're going to start with case number 34. S&O Investment USA LLC. We have a number of people here. Gentlemen, if you would state your names and be sworn by our secretary.
Steve Iturriaga.
Sir, state your name in the microphone.
Steve Cicery.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, did you say Steve Cicery?
Cicery, Cecere.
And your name again?
Steve Iturriaga.
Aturiaga?
Iturriaga.
Aturiaga. All right. Continued from the October hearing, continued for progress report and the determination of a compliance statement. So who wants to go first? Who's got progress to report?
I can speak to that. After the last hearing that we were here in October, I immediately submitted my plans to 4 different contractors to get a contractor on board to move forward with this project. That process took a lot longer than I anticipated, but I'm happy to say that I've got a contractor, and we've submitted for permitting. There are some questions back from the city of Daytona concerning this submittal, and we're working through those comments as we speak. And I've got my contractor here that can further explain.
Yeah, they're basically requesting about 15 documents, anywhere from, just the basic plans to load calc, surveys, trust engineering. Takes a little time to get all those from the different contractors. I've got most of them. I'm lacking maybe 3 or 4, but I should have them, I'd say, within the next 20, 30 days to complete the submittal for the permit.
What was the work that was being done to begin with? Interior renovations?
We're basically tearing down that right side of the building. It's a completely new rebuild. The lower portion you see on the right side is being demolished completely down to the ground and then rebuilt from the ground up.
Okay. All right.
Just for clarification, just from what the contractor said, the obtaining a permit won't be the completion of the project for us. The completion is once it's
Approved. Yes.
Once we get to the end, then we're to the end.
Are we talking about once we get the permit approved or once we get the building built?
No, once you get the permit approved.
Okay, very good.
We'll cover the permit requirements. I don't know about when we say building approved, someone has to answer that. We'll need from the staff. Do you need a building approval on this, or? I'm sorry?
typically it's gonna be once the final permits are finalized and approved.
You know, I can approve them at final, that's what
I
I was saying.
understand.
So once he gets his permit approved, he goes about his business and he's done with us. Is that what I understand you
That's what
saying?
I'm saying.
That's what I'm understanding.
Very good.
Okay, Mr. Inspector, did you want to be heard? I guess we're trying to guesstimate a compliance date,
Correct,
and we're in administrative land right now.
right. So, like I said, compliance, whatever the compliance date, how long you guys think before you will actually have all this completed?
How long they take once I submit everything, but I imagine not very long. I would anticipate I'll have all the documents requested submitted within the next 30 days. Hopefully sooner, but I'd rather
No
give
work's
myself.
gonna happen until this permit's approved anyway.
Correct.
So we give him 60 days?
That's fine,
60 days?
that's fine.
Great.
We need a, progress.
Yeah, progress report would be good. 60 days?
What's the progress report we're looking for? Permit or no permit?
Well, the permit should be, he already submitted the permit, just waiting, like I said, on the things that he have to, turn in order to get that permit.
All right, well, then I'm gonna order the respondent to be in compliance 60 days or by March 5, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. I'm also gonna order that I get a progress report at our February 11, 2025 meeting. If it's a matter of just conveying to the inspector what progress has been made, you don't have to attend. I'll defer to you, can or can't, whatever you want to do.
That's fine, thank
Because
you.
it sounds like we're just going to try to get a status report regarding the permit as it stands over there with the folks that are reviewing it. So our inspector's more than capable of conveying all that.
Right.
So I'll leave that to you. So, we're gonna put in a 60-day compliance date, that's March 5th. Progress report at our February 11th meeting, your attendance is optional.
All right,
Good luck
that's
to you.
fine, thank you.
Good luck.
Sounds good, thank you.
Okay, we now are going to proceed to case 44. That is RE Equity Investment Group LLC and JJ Equity LLC. Is there anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Mark Jones, Field Supervisor with the City of Daytona Beach. My credentials are on file. This respondent was first notified on July 7th, 2023. Since last hearing on October 8th, 2024, I have had contact from the property owners. This project has stalled. Plans were returned for correction on September 16th, 2024, due to many changes from the approved plans. There were architectural, structural, MEP, and site plan revisions that they had to submit. The last building department inspection was July 31st, 2024. At my last inspection on January 6th, 2025, the property was in non-compliance. There was a lot of trash and debris throughout the property. Staff is recommending a fine of $200 a day with a cap of $20,000.
Okay, what's happened here? Why is everything stalled?
When I talked with them, they said it was due to that they had gone beyond the scope of work of the approved plans. They had encroached out into where the site on the back. They had changed some of the mechanical drawings or mechanical installation from what the drawings were. There were structural issues from the building department when they did their last inspection. They stated they're waiting for the plan revisions, but they're not even maintaining the property. at this time.
Waiting on plan revision. Why is there any need?
Because they did work beyond what the approved scope of work was on their approved plan.
Layman's language, from your viewpoint, what is it they're trying to do that's above and beyond plans as we understood?
I don't know the exact extent. I know they built on the back of the building, they built an addition beyond where they were allowed to build per their site requirements. You can see that addition they put on the back there.
Is that
where
the
the
thing with
porch
the wooden
is.
fence on top?
Yes, that's a
That's an
porch and a
addition that wasn't
stairwell.
on the plans?
It was added to and then extended beyond what their approved footprint was. I do not know the extent of the mechanical changes.
All right,
Yeah.
if you would please state your name and be sworn.
My name is Joaquin Brito. Sorry, I'm late. Joaquin Brito.
AQU.
Brito, last name.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
I was just asking our inspector why this project seems to have stalled, and I'm being told that apparently you went beyond the approved plans, or beyond the scope of the approved plans, and that as a result, you now find yourself back dealing with the permitting department.
So
Why
what it
don't you
was,
tell me what's going on?
Mr. Belcher, before we do that, if I know he probably did this before, it's been a little bit of time ago. So what's Mr. Brittle's relationship to the?
I'm owner and contractor.
Okay.
What's going on?
So, we was doing working on the building, and as we go on, the inspector, Mr. Jorgen, said that the stairs in the back went about 2 feet more a boundary line, but that line that we took 2 more feet of the stair belongs to us, but he said that have to go back to zoning. So we had to revise the plan, and also there was in the second floor, all the way the third floor, there was other stuff that he wanted us to revise because they said the walls were not as the plans.
Who is this inspector you're talking about?
Mr. Jorgen, he's with the building department.
Who's
With
Mr.
the city of Daytona Beach.
And what is he?
He is a building inspector. He's the one.
Okay,
that
you're a
comes up-
building inspector. Is he here?
No.
Okay, well, I'm just trying to understand where he fits in. You folks are who I'm accustomed to dealing
Yeah,
with.
well, he is who would go out and inspect the work as to compliance with the plans. He is what is a building inspector with permits and licensing.
Okay.
Also plans examiner?
He is not a plans examiner, he is a building inspector.
All right.
All right, so he's checking for compliance with the plans.
Correct,
He finds these guys went 2 feet a lot further than they should have.
correct,
Now he's got questions as to whether that creates zoning implications.
correct.
All right, you were talking about something else that cropped up?
Yeah, and then he went upstairs and he said, well, this wall is also about 6 inches more, and it's just about things that they said the plan didn't match a wall or an outlet and things like that. That I'm like, okay. So he was like, you know what, you need to revise the plan. But when you revise the plan and the zoning, that has to go back to my architect, and it was close to holidays. Okay.
Well, that was my next question. When did all this crop up?
About going to about November. So my architect, you know what? You have to go back to my electrical engineer, because when you move a wall, that wall has plumbing. That has to go back to everybody, and it's holidays. My engineers are not going to be working
I understand.
into January.
And this is because this wall was 6 inches away from where the plan said it should be?
Right, and then there was 2 stairs that was supposed to be the staircase was supposed to be a foot more from where the original were, and I was trying to explain, at that point, even if I try to explain, hey, you know what, when you build a plan, one thing is when you see it in dry, and then another thing is when you're trying to put it together, you might not catch the beam, or you might say, like, you know what, I want the plan revised. So we send it to my architect. My architect went in and, you know, he's revising the plans. Now he's 90% done with the plans. He said we should have something by this week or next week. And then that's supposed to go back to the building department, and I don't know how long would they take. Last time I revised the plan.
So what's the status of construction in the interim?
Practically just need to put in the kitchen and the toilet. As the only thing that is not being done, because he's told me to stop working on the 4th floor. And
I assume he told you to stop working
He's told me to stop working on the 4th floor.
until these revisions were
Until
done.
the revision was
You
done.
sent it to your architect.
Yes.
Your architect's almost done.
Yes.
You're getting ready to submit the plan revisions.
Yes.
All right, so he's the one that put the stop work order on
Well,
there.
he didn't put a stop work order.
All
He
right,
told me not
he's the
to
one that
work.
told you to stop work.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, keep going.
And then we put in the plan. We are finished. The architects finished the plan, Mr. Robinson, which is well known in Daytona.
I know who he is, keep going.
Yeah, so he's finishing the plans. He's about 90% done. We're waiting on the plans to come in. Meanwhile, when you see all this garbage has been picked up, because the thing is, when the hurricane came, okay, we got a lot of illegal dumping in the area. All that area was flooded, you know, and then when Mr. Mark called me. and told me-
Okay, let's fast forward. When do we expect to have your plan revisions finalized and submitted?
Well, the architect told me that in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, he will
Okay.
have the plans finished.
And then you're waiting on the city of Daytona Beach to tell you when
It
you
take
can
as much
resume.
as 3 or 4 months to approve my plan.
Well, let's not horrify it, let's just kind of
I'm
work.
just letting you know what they did to me.
I've
last
been
time.
here for a while, I think I understand how it works.
Okay.
So let's just talk about what we can control. So you're about to submit your plan revisions,
Yes.
and you should have that done in a couple weeks?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then after that, you're waiting on the city of Daytona Beach?
Yes, sir.
And you're telling me this mess has been cleaned up?
Yes, sir. I have pictures.
I'll take your word for it. Is the property been cleaned up?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because I'm hearing complaints about how it's not being kept clean and it's not being maintained.
Well, no. Outside, everything has been cleaned. All those things. So when the water hit, everything went all over. All my construction material that I had outside on the
Okay.
hurricane, and I couldn't do anything on it because I couldn't access the property
I understand.
with the hurricane. That's
All right.
when they took
Let's
the
calm
pictures.
down. It looks to me like you're a good ways into this. It looks to me like you don't have too much further to go.
No.
I'm more interested in getting to the finish line.
Me too.
Okay, so, couple weeks, your plan revisions get submitted. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna reschedule this matter to our February 11, 2025 meeting for a progress report. All right? Hopefully by then, your plan should have been submitted. Maybe we'll know something from the city, maybe we won't. But at the same time, I'm gonna keep you on a short leash because I'm either gonna fine you, which is what they're asking for. I don't feel like doing that right now. I'm either gonna fine you or I'm gonna keep you on a short leash because I want to get this thing done. And I appreciate the effort that's been put forth to date, because otherwise, that piece of property would be another one of our local toilets just sitting here festering in the city. So I appreciate the effort. At the same time, I got an inspector here who wants to get it done. I want to get it done. So all that having been said, get your plan revisions in. I'm expecting that to be done within a couple weeks. We'll have a progress report in a month to see where we stand, and then we'll go from there. And in the interim, keep the exterior maintained and clean. If the exterior is not maintained and cleaned, then he'll be returning you here for me to consider a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. I understand the hurricane. I understand that. I'm not going to concern myself with that right now. So going forward, get your plans submitted, keep the exterior maintained, and then we'll meet on February 11th, and hopefully we'll have a clearer view as to what the end date may look like here.
I appreciate that. I have one more thing to say. So in the area that we're in, I do get a lot of illegal dumping. We always.
I heard you. I understand
we
that.
put cameras in. We get, we wake up one day, see a whole bunch of furniture. We're trying to always get rid
Take a
of it.
picture or
work
two,
on
and
it.
that's all you'll need.
Right. So
Take a picture, bring it here, show it to me, and that's all you'll need.
And other than that, if the building department hasn't stopped me 2 times like they have, I would have been finished this project.
Okay,
You know,
well,
so-
see, that's not very constructive. So why don't we just hide that one for the time being. Put that in your back pocket.
Well, it's the truth,
Save
sir.
that for another day.
It's the truth, sir. You know.
Okay, well, there's lots of truths here, but, you know, we don't need to do all that. So, let's get done with what we are pretty close to being done with here.
Okay.
10-4?
All right.
All right, good luck to you.
All right. Thank you, Mark.
Okay, case number 45, Masonova Daytona LLC. And I believe we have some Zoom attendees. And they still haven't put a piece of glass in front of you so that I know you're back there. All right, for all of you appearing by Zoom, if you are all the respondents who are appearing today, then you need to state your names and be sworn by our secretary.
Hello? Can you state your name? Everybody who's up there, can you please state your names? Mr. Posey? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay. Who is Devra?
He's the property manager.
Okay, if she's not gonna be speaking, correct?
I don't think so.
Okay. Who is the other gentleman? Is it Mr. Bogart?
No, that's Zach, Danny Parker and Zach Parker, contractors.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right, this matter is here for imposition of a fine pertaining to potholes and lighting improvements. This was continued for a progress report to establish a compliance date for all remaining violations. So let's hear from our inspector, who can tell us what it is we're here to talk about today.
Respondent was first notified of violation on October 16th, 2023. At the last hearing on November 12th, 2024, the property owner stated that the parking lighting had been repaired the night before the hearing and the potholes cold patched. I inspected the property on the 14th and the potholes had been repaired with cold patch. An application for the parking lot lighting was submitted on May 6, 2024 and returned for revisions on May 7, 2024. No revisions were submitted and no lighting permit was issued. I received an email from the property management company copying the owner stating the lights were repaired, not replaced, and no permits were needed. Review of the parking lot lighting on January 9th, 2025, and I have photos that show that one fixture is not working as it's missing a light bulb. I received another email on July 9th, 2024 from the management company to the owner stating a pre-construction meeting was set with the city, and permits will be pulled right after the pre-construction meeting. I called and talked to Mark Boyce, the deputy code official for permits and licensing, to confirm. Mark stated that no pre-construction meeting had been scheduled, as the construction plans had not even been submitted to the building department. This case opened on 2023, and there's really been no progress. People using the plaza are continually dealing with the potholes and the insufficient lighting. If you could show the photos of the lighting, that's what it looks as of the 12th. And you can even see the fixtures that do not have a light bulb even inserted in them. There's a clear picture. You can see there's the fixture, and you can see the sky through the fixture, as there's no bulb even installed in the fixture. Because of the nature of these violations, staff is recommending a fine of $500 a day with a cap of $70,000.
What say the respondents?
Danny?
Since November. We've been waiting for a time slot to even have a conversation with them. The engineers have been working diligently trying to get through to them. Like we said, we took over the property a year ago with these plans already approved from the city. So we do have approved set of plans. The issue is that we need the pre-com, so now we'll see how we can proceed. This is two separate properties right now. And that's where we're at right there. It's just difficult for everybody. We need it done, you need it done, and we're just stuck. It's not like we're trying not to fix it, we do anything possible, but it's just spinning wheels.
There has been no building plans, site plans for construction submitted to the building department as of yesterday. They can't have a pre-construction meeting before the plans are submitted and reviewed, approved, and being ready for issuance. They may be talking about a meeting with the development group, because through further investigation, their final site plan has not even been approved by the development group. There have been many revisions back and forth, but it hasn't been approved. But we're still dealing with the lighting issues.
I mean, listen, we'll fix the light that's broken there now, the one light, but I still think it's not gonna help. I think we need to add more light, it's not possible. To fix the one wall, it's not a problem. We're driving there right now. We'll be there in about an hour. I have guys already on site, so if we have to do more in the parking lot or fix one light, we'll gladly do that right now.
Anything else?
Danny, is there confusion? Cody from Newkirk Engineering has confirmed with us that the plans were approved by the city, but we need a pre-con in order to pull permits. Am I wrong?
But certainly told to us, but you know, I believe the inspector, that he probably is, you know, maybe we're getting lied to. I'm not sure. We need to investigate this to figure out what's going on, because we're told one thing, but I believe the inspector should be telling. I mean, he knows probably more than them. Well, telling us more than them.
To me, this doesn't make sense, because the engineers are telling us that we're waiting for the pre-con we're just waiting for the pre-con to be set in order to pull the permits to do a whole parking lot. That's what we're being told twice a week, 3 times a week, we're being told the same thing. We're waiting for the pre-con in order to pull the permits. That's what we're being told. We're told everything was finished, finalized.
Everything was approved, that's correct.
We've been through this every week, 3 times a week.
But the the inspector just said that, you know, he checked on it and nothing's improved, nothing's done. So, I mean, this is something, you know, you gotta talk to the, you know, the people on the property. It's already supposed to be done.
Is everyone done? I'm fining the respondent the sum of $500 per day commencing January 9, 2025. That fine will continue to accrue each day thereafter until the respondent is in compliance with my order of November 18, 2024, where the amount of the fine has reached the sum of $70,000. I suggest you guys drop everything, find your way over to City Hall, figure it out, and get it done. Good luck to you.
Mr. Kelly, just one clarification.
Just quick question. So what's it going for compliance? Talking about the one light bulb that's up, correct?
I suggest you guys come down to City Hall, meet with everyone you need to meet with, and ask all your questions there.
Just one clarification. You actually had a dual order. There was an order for getting these lights and potholes done, and that's what
That's what I'm finding the respondent for.
Right, and then we also have the rest of the project that still needs to be completed. So we still have an open case as it relates to ultimate compliance.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure that was cleared out on that.
This is for failure to be in compliance as to potholes and lighting improvements.
And whenever they get that completed and approved by the inspector, that fine would stop running, but we'd still be working towards getting the total job complete.
Sir, good luck. Case number 1. Fiesta LLC. Anyone here for the respondent?
Yes.
Yes, sir, if you would. Yes, sir, if you would please state your name.
Diego Handel, 444 South Beach Street, Daytona Beach, 32114.
Raise your right hand. Swear from the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
And your affiliation with Fiesta LLC?
Managing member, sole owner.
Okay. Do you agree this violation existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
I do.
All right, I find the respondent in non-compliance. Madam Inspector, and what's necessary for the respondent to come into compliance?
There's some damaged and rotting wood along the walkways and decking. He needs to obtain an issued permit if needed to make those repairs and contact me for compliance.
And how long would you estimate would reasonably be required for the respondent to come into compliance?
I haven't had any contact with Mr. Handel, so it would depend on if he's how long the permitting issued permit is going to take for him to get that done, if he's going to be required to have a contractor do the work. Mm-hmm.
So coming into compliance means replacing the rotten wood.
Our
Exterior stairs.
Yes, sir. Our recommendation is the next cutoff.
Okay.
If I may respond, Your Honor.
All right. So the city thinks you ought to be able to be in compliance by the next cutoff. What say the respondent to that?
We are on the National Register of Historic Places. This is the oldest standing structure, one of the two main buildings in Daytona. So we have to comply with the city code and also the National Register code to maintain our status. So it takes a little bit longer to do that. We are right now in the middle of a lot of repairs, some of which predated the hurricane, and the last hurricane was quite devastating to the oldest building. So we have a lot of work that's being done right now. We're not operating right now. We're not renting out rooms. We're fixing everything. So the walkway which is outside, is not being used by anyone. There's nobody there other than the owners. That's my son and I. I mean, we're the only ones that are there working basically on correcting everything. So, knowing how long it takes to get anything done with contractors that are also no restoration and that kind of work, I'd say probably 60 days is more likely for that to happen because we
What's
have to
going to happen in 60 days? What do you expect to accomplish within 60 days?
Well, we're finalizing now, actually selecting a GC. We've been interviewing people for weeks now. There's a lot of work that needs to be done to both buildings. We're working with FEMA as well to try to, cover some of the expenses. Insurance is really not going to be paying much, if anything. We've made claims. We've already fixed the plumbing.
Okay, well, you're way beyond the scope of this notice of violation. So as far as the notice of violation, does it not sound as though he's way beyond the scope of this notice of violation?
Yes, sir, it does. And I've had no contact at all from the property owner.
All right, well, my point is, if you are going to keep the property unoccupied until you complete all your renovations, that's one thing. I can consider that. Otherwise, the only thing you're here for right now is a notice of violation regarding these particular, is it exterior stairs and walkway?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so where do the exterior stairs and walkway fit in as far as your overall renovation plan is concerned?
Once again, because it is, in order to maintain the historic status, we have to do it a certain way. So
I understand.
Not only functional, but also appearance and so on. So it takes a little bit longer. That's why I think 30 days, given the fact that we're doing a lot of other work on the property, and we haven't even selected a GC yet.
Okay, I don't know that you're understanding what I'm trying to say here. So you think within 60 days you'd have it done?
Yes.
Okay, well, I mean, that's fine. I just didn't know where this piece fit in with your overall renovation plans.
Right.
Whatever those may be.
I think, Mr. McCutcheon, if I could just add, and I've never said this, Anthony Jackson, attorney for the city, just for the record. I believe he still would need a business tax receipt before he starts operating, and so even though he didn't get those individualized things cited, they'll have to be taken care of before he gets the business tax receipt. I believe that's the circumstance. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Well, we can get that, this week. I mean, that's not a problem.
Okay, well.
Tax receipt. I believe that's the circumstance. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, then I will order the respondent to come into compliance by March 5, 2025, or be returned, that's approximately 60 days down the road, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. I'm sure I don't need to remind you, but I will anyway. If you come up short on that, let the inspector know the circumstances, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
Okay, we need to go out of order one more time to case number 46, Hagden International College Incorporated. Okay, is there anyone here for the respondent? Matters here for the imposition of a fine. Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Respondent was first notified of the violation on August 18th, 2023. Since last hearing, there has been no contact from the contractor or the owner. The building department did pass wall reinforcement back on December 20th, 2024. At last inspection on January 6, 2025, the property is still in non-compliance. As you can see, all the soffit that needs to be repaired has not happened yet. Staff is requesting a fine of $200 per day with a cap of 20,000.
Is this the building where the contractor was gonna finish off the cold, dark shell?
Yes,
Is
months ago.
that this one?
Yes.
So what's happened now? Everybody stopped?
There was no one on site when I visited back in January 6th, and I've had no contact from the contractor, so I'm not sure what's going on.
Okay. Then, noting the absence of the respondent, based upon the photographs presented and the testimony of our inspector, I'm going to fine the respondent the sum of $200 per day commencing January 9, 2025. And that fine will continue to accrue each day thereafter until the property is in compliance or the amount of the fine has reached the sum of $20,000. Very good.
Thank you.
Right. Case number 2. Junker Louisa. Is anyone here for the respondent? Okay.
Yes, sir, I am.
Yes, sir, if you would please state your name and be sworn, and we need to see you.
Caesar Junker.
Okay,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Caesar Junker.
Whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay. Who is Junker Louisa?
My mother.
Right, and she's passed away?
Correct.
And if I can just get clarification, do we have the name correct? Is it Junker Louisa or Louisa Junker?
The other way, Louisa Junker.
Okay.
All right. Okay, do you agree this violation existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes, sir.
All right, I find the respondent non-compliance. Mr. Inspector, what do we need to do to come into compliance?
Good morning, John Stinson, Code Inspector with the City. My qualifications are on file. I have been in contact with Mr. Junker, and he has been out there. The only thing left for him to do is to address the dilapidated fencing and the damaged vent stack on the side of the building.
And how much time do you think it would take to do that?
He should be able to get this done by the next cutoff.
This cutoff's February 5, 2025. All right. Mr. Junker, the inspector seems to think you ought to be able to have this wrapped up by February 5th. What say you to that?
Yes, sir. I believe I have it done in a couple days, to be honest with you, sir.
Okay.
We've been working for the last week trying to get everything done, and he's seen all the progress I've made, so I believe we'll be able to finish this.
Very good. Then I'll order the respondent to come into compliance by February 5, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Please keep in mind, once the work is done, don't forget to call the inspector out there for a final inspection.
I will send him emails with pictures.
Very good. You have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Case number 3, EM Realty of Florida, LLC. Anyone here for the respondent? Good morning. If you would please state your name and be sworn.
My name is Hendrik Emanuels, Hendrik.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I'm sorry.
You can pull that down.
Put it down. All right.
There you go.
Better? Better? All right. Hendrik. Last name Emanuels, Emanuels. And I'm the market manager for
I'm sorry,
EYM.
say your first name again.
Hendrik.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear from the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Emanuels, do you agree this violation existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes, sir.
I find the respondent non-compliance. Mr. Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for the respondent to come into compliance?
By the March cutoff.
March cutoff. All right, the March cutoff is March 5, 2025. What say Mr. Emanuels to that?
Yes. We're actually working with the architect on submitting the plans. I don't know if he got in contact with the inspector.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And right now working with the GC, everything that it's needed to be completed, it's gonna be done during the remodel. So we're planning on doing a full remodel, including parking lot, stucco outside, and inside as well.
And when do you expect to have all that done?
We'll say the next maybe 60 days. We're working on different GCs and the paving company to complete the project. We've been in conference calls the last month or so. But we should get everything situated by March.
All
I would
right,
say
and
60
the
days.
violations I'm looking at are dilapidated parking lot,
Mhm.
stucco on the exterior walls, broken window, dilapidated door, peeling paint, exposed wiring. So we're gonna mop all that up?
Yes, sir.
And you
Everything
think-
is gonna be covered.
And you think 60 days will do it?
Yes, sir.
60 days around here ends up being March 5, 2025. What say you to that?
Yeah, I mean, we should be all completed.
Come up short, call your inspector, let them
Will
know
do.
what's going on if you run into any problems along the way. All right,
Yes,
I'll
sir.
order the respondent to be in compliance by March 5, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter.
Thank
Good
you so
luck
much.
to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Case number 4, Martha M. Bailey.
Good morning.
Good morning. If you would please state your name and be sworn.
Jed Bailey, J-E-D. And
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Your affiliation with Martha Bailey.
Her son.
You have authority to speak on her behalf.
I do.
Very good. You agree this violation existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes, sir.
I find the respondent non-compliance. Mr. Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for the respondent to come into compliance?
By the next cutoff.
Next cutoff would be February 5, 2025. What say Mr. Bailey to that?
I would hope to be able to do that. We'll make every effort to make that happen.
Hope to be able. Make
Sure.
every effort.
Yes, sir.
A lot of wishes and prayers in there.
I sir.
How close is it to being rock solid?
We've made progress. I guess the only question I had was on the repairs to the ceiling, if that required a general contractor, or if we were able to do that work ourselves, or.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure Mr. Stenson will answer whatever questions you may have. Is this structure occupied at present?
No, sir. The
If you keep it unoccupied, I'll give you 60 days.
the tenant has passed away, and so it's unoccupied.
All right, then I'll tell you what, I'm gonna order you be in compliance by March 5, 2025, and that the property is not to be rented, occupied, or otherwise utilized until it's in compliance.
Understood.
Very good?
Very good.
And if you have any questions, Mr. Stenson will be happy to answer them for you.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Pelta Ray Ventures LLC.
Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. If you would state your names and be sworn by our secretary.
Luis Quintero,
Spell your last name?
Q-U-I-N-T-E-R-O. Brian Romaine.
Ryan what?
Romaine.
Raise your hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, what's y'all's affiliation with Pelta Ray Ventures LLC?
Hotel chief engineer. I manage the maintenance department. I'm general manager.
So you got authority to speak on their behalf.
Yes, sir.
You all agree this violation existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes, sir.
And we find the respondent in non-compliance. Mr. Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for the respondents to come into compliance?
By next cutoff?
Next cutoff is February 5, 2025. What say y'all to that?
Yes, sir. That'll work.
That'll work. All right. Then I will order the respondent to be in compliance by February 5, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Can I see that photograph again, please, of the wall that you just had up there?
That was not the property.
That was not the property. Okay, never mind that. All right, damaged wall. What wall? What are we fixing?
We have an overflow parking lot across the street. Address for that lot is 1624 South Atlantic. The wall was knocked over by the hurricane and further damaged by a guest with his vehicle. So it's just a concrete wall that divides that lot from the backyards of the houses on the other side.
Gotcha. All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
Case number 6, 275 Ridgewood Avenue, LLC. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
This case was a proactive case with faded paint. The case was opened on August 15th. Property was first notified on August 15th. And the property is still in non-compliance and is asked to be placed into compliance by next cutoff.
All right, noting the absence of the respondent, based upon the inspector's testimony, I find the respondent in non-compliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by February 5, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 7, Shafat and Carol M. Ahmed. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city? We have a respondent.
My name is Shafat Ahmed.
It's Dr. Ahmed, is it not?
Yes, sir.
I think so. All right, if you would please be sworn by our secretary.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Ahmed, do you agree this violation existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Sir, I have been and my wife have been sick and we overwhelmed by our problems, health problems. And she had major spine surgery with weakness in her leg, numbness, tingling, and had to have emergency neurosurgical procedure at one of our local hospitals. So we have been completely taken over by these problems, not because of some, not ignoring the problem, but then the other problem is to find people. I tried 3 people in last week, and they come and you meet them at the office, and they say they are coming, and sometimes they give you figures and then don't show up.
All right, well, let's shift gears here. Mr. Inspector, what's the nature of the violations?
Good morning, Inspector Roosevelt Butler. Credentials on file with the City of Daytona Beach. As pertains to 1121 Mason, this case was a citizen complaint case. A site inspection was conducted on August 1st, 2024, where it was determined the property had the following violations: outdoor storage, overgrown landscaping, dirt and grime, and boarded up windows. The property was notified on August the 13th, 2024. The property was to be in compliance on September the 13th, 2024. The last date of inspection was January the 8th, 2025. Result of my re-inspection was non-compliance. I've had contact with the property owner. Staff requests to find them non-compliance. Compliance by the March cutoff.
Okay. All right, well, as difficult as it may be, you're going to have to find somebody to attend.
Yes, sir. We are trying. Yesterday, we went and met. It's called. They are contractor, something their name. I will give the name to the code officer.
I'll take your word for it.
Yes, sir.
But my point is,
And we are waiting to find out their numbers. We don't have that.
all right. All right, well, based upon the testimony I've heard, as well as the photographs I've presented, I find the respondent in non-compliance, and I'm going to order the respondent to be in compliance by March 5, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. So we're giving you till March
Oh, yes,
to
ma'am.
get it taken care of,
Yes.
and it just has to be done. I understand the difficulties sometimes folks encounter when it comes to finding good help. For the most part, this looks like maintenance more so than anything else.
And we got hit by Hurricane Matthew in 16, Irma in 17, Daniel in 19, and then 2 hurricanes, Ian and Nicole in 22, and 2 hurricanes, I think
You can go
Renee
ahead and
and
get that
Milton,
information from
Hurricane
her.
Milton in 24, last year.
Okay.
So we have had damages from all of them.
I understand. So, get this taken care of, and if for some reason you're unable to get it done, get in touch with your inspector and let
Yes,
him know
sir.
what's going on.
Yes, sir, I
All
will.
right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
This brings us to case 9, Ron and Ron Group 2 LLC. Is there anyone here for the respondent? Good morning.
Renee Richardson, 931 South Martin Luther King Boulevard, speaking on behalf of Ron and Ron Group. Oh, sorry.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, what is your affiliation with Ron and Ron Group 2 LLC?
One of them is my ex-husband.
One of them is what?
An ex-husband.
Your
He's my
ex-husband.
ex-husband, yes.
One of them. Oh, one of the Rons.
One of the Rons.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Anyway, we good to go, counselor?
Yeah, I assume he's authorizing her to speak since he's present.
Yes.
All right. Do you agree this violation existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes.
All right, Madam Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for the respondent to come into compliance?
Next cutoff.
City seems to think you ought to have this taken care of by February 5th. What say you to that?
Can we have 60 days? We just want to ensure.
Well, you can ask. Now,
Yes.
why do you need 60 days?
Because
instead?
I've already got in contact with Ms. Kirk. We've done some of the legwork in contacting the contractor to get the permits reactivated or reopened so that they can come and do the final inspections for the different areas
Okay,
that
is the
didn't have.
building empty right now?
Yes, it's
And as long as you keep it unoccupied, I can give you 60 days.
Okay,
Until you're
that'll
back
be
in
perfect.
compliance.
That's fine. Thank you.
All right. I will order the respondent to be in compliance by March 5, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter, and the building is not to be occupied or otherwise utilized until such time as it is in compliance.
Got to
Luck
find
you.
him in
Thank you.
non-compliance.
Pardon?
You didn't find him in non-compliance.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought she already acknowledged they were in non-compliance, so I
Yeah.
find the respondent in non-compliance.
Okay.
And order the respondent to be in compliance by March 5, 2025. You want me to go through the rest of it, or you got it?
Nope.
Very good. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You the same Renee Richardson?
I am.
Very good. Then we don't have far to go.
Okay.
Case number 10, Renee Richardson. Since I already know who you are, you agree that this property was in non-compliance as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes.
I find the respondent in non-compliance. Madam Inspector, how much time should be required for Ms. Richardson to bring this property?
Next cutoff.
Next cutoff is February 5th, 2025. What say you to that?
No, we need longer than that. We have done some of the corrections, and we are working on the roof. We have contacted a roofing company. We have a few estimates, and I'm gonna stay in contact with Ms. Kirk and moving forward to try to get the roof under compliance. I think that should be the last thing because we've been doing the other things that have been asked of us.
So when do we expect to have it done?
What's the extension, the time limit? Is it 60 days or 90 days?
It's
The length?
whatever I feel like.
Oh, okay. So we would like to have actually 90 days, and that is because I'm working with the city, trying to get funds to help to do this.
This building occupied.
It is a business that is ran in the front of it, yes.
So the front of it,
It's a car wash, it's a business, so we have gotten one grant, and I'm working on trying to get additional funds for the roof. That part on that end is more so utilized, I guess the store part and the car wash is over on the other side and stuff, but the building is occupied. We're trying to get the roof done.
occupied. What do you mean by occupied?
There is,
Or business being operated in there?
yeah, it's a business being operated, but the equipment is housed on that side. The equipment for the car wash, the stuff for the car wash is in that where we have the rolling doors. So we've already contacted somebody about.
Are you telling me this building is more storage than anything else?
On that end, yes. On that end where the roof has to be done, what they're looking at, it has to be, that's more storage.
Do we have any life safety issues here?
No.
All right, well, I'll tell you what. Did I find him in noncompliance? Good. All right, well. All right, then we'll give you the 90 days. I'll give you 90 days, that means I expect you to be done. They
Okay.
ask.
Okay.
All right, then I will allow the respondent until April 2 of 2025 to be in compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Please keep the inspector posted as to the progress you make. From what I understand, the roof is probably going to be the more problematic part and probably toward the end of the project. So that having been said, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Case number 11, Bat Development, LLC. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
You would please state your name and be sworn by our secretary.
I'm Timothy D. Hudson, Sr., owner of Bat Development, LLC.
You swear from the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Your affiliation with Bat Development, LLC?
I'm the owner, sir.
Very good. Do you agree this violation existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, I find the respondent in noncompliance. Madam Inspector, how much time should be required for the respondent to come into compliance?
Next cutoff.
Next cutoff is February 5th. What say you to that?
Your Honor, if I could get maybe perhaps 60 days, I was before you maybe 8 or 9 months ago with the property that abut this property, and I thought I had included that fence on the other fence permit that I was fined for that we cleared. I'm requesting perhaps 60 days because I need to find the survey, and if I don't have the survey, I'm going to need to have Sligo them get me a survey in order for me to pull the permit for that.
Sounds reasonable enough to me. I'll order the respondent to be in compliance by March 5, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Case number 12, Darren Ottman. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Okay, this is a field-generated case, dirt and grime on the interior surfaces of the doorway. First notification, 5/13/24. Compliance was due 6/13/24. Site visited the property January 10, 25. It's still in non-compliance. Staff's recommending a finding of non-compliance with compliance due by the next cutoff.
Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon the testimony of our inspector and the photographs presented, and the amount of time that has passed already on what would appear to be a relatively easy matter to correct, I find the respondent in non-compliance and order the respondent come into compliance by February 5, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 13, GEA Seaside Investment Incorporated. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Good afternoon. Officer Clegg, my credentials are on file. This case was a field-generated case opened on September 9th of 2024 for dirt and grime on the walls. Missing foundation bricks, front gate is damaged, handrails are missing and broken. It was first notice was posted on November 5th, with compliance due on December 5th of 2024. No contact with the owner. Re-inspection done January 13th. 2025 shows non-compliance. Staff's recommending a finding non-compliance with compliance by next cutoff.
Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon the testimony of our inspector and the photographs presented, I find the respondent in non-compliance and order the respondent come into compliance by February 5, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 14, GEA Seaside Investment Incorporated. Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
232 North Peninsula, field-generated case opened on September 18th of 2024 for dirt and grime on the porch area and the side of the home. First notice was posted on November 5th of 2024 with compliance due on December 5th of 2024. No contact with the owner. Re-inspection done January 13th of 2025 shows non-compliance. Violations still exist. Staff's recommending a fine in non-compliance with compliance due by next cutoff.
Mr. Couch, if I just get, that was number 14?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Number 14. That case right now is in mortgage foreclosure with a trial date set for 2/24. So we'd ask that we go to the March cutoff. We'll see what happens with the foreclosure action.
Sir. Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon the testimony of our inspector and the photographs presented, I find the respondent in non-compliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by March 5, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 15, GEA Seaside Investment Incorporated. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
319 North Peninsula is a field-generated case opened on September 18th of 2024.
I have 319 North Hollywood Avenue.
I'm sorry, yeah, 319 North Hollywood.
Okay.
Field-generated case opened on September 18th of 2024 for dirt and grime on the porch, and bricks were broken around the front of the home. First notice was posted on November 5th of 2024. Compliance due on December 5th of 2024. No contact with the owner. Re-inspection done January 13th of 2025. Non-compliance violations still exist. Staff's recommending a fine in non-compliance with compliance next cutoff.
And again, this is a similar situation. The mortgage foreclosure is scheduled for trial 2/27 of 25. So again, would ask for the March cutoff instead.
Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon the testimony of our inspector and the photographs presented, I find the respondent in non-compliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by March 5, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 16, GEA Seaside Investments Incorporated. Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
509 Harvey is a field-generated case opened up on September 18th of 2024 for boarded up windows. First notice was posted on November 5th with compliance due on December 5th of 2024. No contact with the owner. Re-inspection done January 13th of 2025 shows non-compliance. Staff's recommending a finding of non-compliance with the compliance plan next cutoff.
Noting the absence of the respondent based upon the testimony of the inspector as well as the photographs presented, I find the respondent in non-compliance. In order the respondent come into compliance by February 5, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 17, GEA Seaside Investment Incorporated. Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
23 and 25 South Peninsula is a field-generated case opened up on September 18th of 2024 for boarded-up windows, no grass, soil erosion, peeling paint, damaged wall, and failure to maintain handrails. First notice was posted on November 5th of 2024 with compliance due in December 5th of 2024. No contact with the owner. Reinspection done January 13th of 2025. Shows non-compliance. Staff's recommended finding a non-compliance with a compliance due by next cutoff.
Noting the absence of the respondent based upon the testimony of our inspector and the photographs presented, I find the respondent in non-compliance. In order the respondent to come into compliance by February 5, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. That brings us to case number 19, Janine M. Brown. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Morning, Inspector Bostwick, credentials on file with the city. All right, this case was field generated, opened on August 8th of 2024, overgrown vacant lot and outside storage. First notification was on August 15th, property was posted. Compliance was due by August 26th of 2024. The last day of reinspection was January 13th of 2025, resulting in non-compliance. I didn't make contact with the owner on January 13th. And she did start clearing the lot. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
Noting the absence of the respondent based upon our inspector's testimony and the photographs presented, I find the respondent in non-compliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by February 5, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 20, Derek Smith. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
This case was field generated, opened on August 27th of 2024, overgrown vacant lot, trash and debris. First notification was on September 4th of 2024, property was posted. Compliance was due by September 14th of 2024. The last day of reinspection was January 9th of 2025, result non-compliance. There's been no contact with the owner. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
Is that a cross?
No, it used to be, it's a mailbox post.
Okay. All right, noting the absence of the respondent based upon the testimony of our inspector, I find the respondent in non-compliance. In order the respondent come into compliance by February 5, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 21, David Turek. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
He's here.
I'm sorry? Yes, sir. If you would state your name and be sworn.
David Turk.
And do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Mr. Turk, do you agree that this violation existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes, sir.
Find the respondent in non-compliance. Mr. Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for Mr. Turk to come into compliance?
Next cutoff.
Next cutoff is February 5, 2025. What say Mr. Turk to that?
I asked for some additional time, 60 days at least. Unfortunately, a lot of moving parts to this. I applied for some grant money which didn't come through Project 386. Didn't get any help from FEMA after the storm, and trying to get an attorney on board with me to figure out exactly what I'm going to do with the property. But unfortunately, I'm not employed at the moment, and my income is very limited. So I'm staying in that
camper that was given to me through a program from Ron DeSantis, and I was under the impression that there was some type of temporary legislation that was passed until there was a solution to come up with where I'm going to relocate to or whatever to allow the camper to be put there. They came and placed it there through a program through the state, and there was a letter sent to me by them that says that there's some permission with the municipalities allowing that until, I don't know what time it expires, but.
Okay, Counselor, you know what he's talking about?
I do not know enough. I mean, I've heard something like that, at least a camping program. I mean, a trailer program or something, but I don't know anything about it. It would help us to see, and I don't know if he presented that at all, whatever letter or whatever reference he may be as to what leads him to believe that he would have the additional time without it.
Is this camper one of the vehicles parked on the vacant lot?
Yeah, you can say so. I mean, it's like dozens.
I'm seeing a lot of vehicles.
Exactly.
I didn't know if the camper was included in there.
Yeah, the camper is included in there because that's a part of the vacant lot.
Okay. I just didn't know if his occupancy, the camper put it in a different category. Okay. All right, and then we have outside storage that has to be attended to.
Yes, sir.
We have weeds.
The weeds I've taken care of.
Weeds you've taken care of.
Yes, sir.
All right, and so what is the relief you've asked for? 60 days?
Yes, sir.
And what's going to happen in 60 days if I give it to you?
I'll be honest with you, I don't know, but I do
Other than
know.
you getting fined on day 61?
I don't want to give you an answer that's not going to be truthful. I'm doing the best that I can to try and come up with a solution. I've exhausted pretty much all the remedies I have. I'm financially down to $0. I don't know where the next meal's coming from right at the moment, so.
Are you the owner of 611 North Beach Street?
Yes.
And how many vehicles, in addition to the camper, are on the property?
As of today?
Yes, sir.
4.
All right, had you already started removing them?
They're licensed vehicles, they're on the road.
So vacant lot, it looks like it's more than 4 vehicles, if you ask me.
But in any sense, the fact that it's a vacant lot means they can't, unless he.
Nothing can be on a vacant lot.
Yeah.
Sir, if I may add some additional context to the situation. So it's actually listed legally as 2 separate parcels. So the building on the left-hand side is one parcel of
The green
land.
building?
Yes, and the lot on the right side is a separate parcel. They're both owned by me, but there's some type of law or something on the books that says because that lot on the right side is considered quote-unquote vacant land, I'm not allowed to have anything on it. I'm not allowed to park on it. I'm not allowed to utilize it for anything because it's vacant land. I don't know.
Is there a fence between these 2 parcels?
No. There's one fence that surrounds the entire perimeter, and it's previously been used for.
What is the green building? I can't see the green building. What is it? What is it?
It's
used
just a vacant concrete building.
Okay, what had it been used for in the past?
Previously, it was used by Mr. John Green that did all the beach rentals, concessions and chairs and all that stuff. And he used that lot for storage for all his trailers and equipment for the beach rentals. And previous to that, it was the Outlaw Motorcycle Club. So we had been in discussion about
So this property,
combining the 2 lots together, which supposedly would alleviate the violations in its entirety. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, if you did combine both parcels into one parcel.
Okay, we ain't doing that. That's a nightmare. Everybody that does that, it turns out to be a gigantic mess. Then you get into zoning issues. Then you get into all kinds of other issues. And then I don't know how these parcels are zoned.
Yeah.
And if the zoning's different for each parcel,
That's
that's
industrial,
another
commercial,
headache.
but-
So you gotta think about that.
That's-
That ain't a quick.
that's what was recommended to me.
Let me rephrase that. It's your property. You do what you want. I'm just telling you, historically, that's never been a quick fix. That's all I'm telling you. But Okay. So you own this property. This property is two parcels. One has a building on it, and one, the city, is telling you is a vacant lot.
Correct. So the one parcel, the building takes up the entire frontage. The lot's 50 foot wide, the building's approximately 48 feet wide. And then the vacant lot
What, if
next to
anything,
it.
do the vehicles that are parked on this property have to do with the building that's there?
I live there as well.
Okay, what, if anything, do the vehicles that are on the vacant lot, forget the camper for the minute. You said there were 4 vehicles there.
Yep.
Okay, for example, are they being worked on in the green building, or are they, I didn't know, if maybe the green building's like a mechanic shop or something like that.
At the present moment, it's just a vacant building.
Well, you know what, I'm gonna give you the 60 days, because, to be honest with you, I think, if I were you, I'd be looking into it. I'm not gonna sit there and argue anything on your behalf, but, I'd be looking into it. You have 2 parcels of property, need to know how they're zoned. As it stands, I'm gonna order you to come into compliance, and I'm gonna give you the 60 days you asked for. I'm just telling you that I think maybe you need to look below the surface of this, as far as what these properties are, how they're zoned, what you can actually utilize them for, and as far as your notion that you're allowed to stay in that motorhome because of some sort of emergency orders due to hurricane, that's beyond my purview. I don't know anything about that. So in any event, I'll give you the 60 days just so you can either figure it out, but either way, you'll have to either figure it out or be in compliance, one or the other. Okay, have I found the respondent in non-compliance? All right, if I didn't already, I'll find the respondent in non-compliance and order the respondent to come into compliance. When was the last time this property was used for any business purposes?
Prior to me purchasing it, probably
Oh, no, I'm talking about
12
you.
years ago, maybe.
I'm talking about you. When was the last time this, what is the property currently being used for?
I live there.
As a what?
I live there.
I heard that. Is it being used for any business purpose?
No.
So there's no business conducted there?
Correct.
And 4. All right. I'll order the respondent to be in compliance by March 5, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. You can do whatever you want, but if I were you, I'd find a building and zoning lawyer to talk to see what opportunities may present itself, because I'd want to know that.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
We're good? We're good.
What's that?
Yes.
Case number 22, D&J Global Holding LLC. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
All right, this case was field generated, opened on September 6th of 2024, overgrown vacant lot, trash and debris. First notification was on September 16th of 2024. Compliance was due by September 27th of 2024. Last day of reinspection was January 10th of 2025. Result, non-compliance. There's been no conversation with the owner. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon the testimony of our inspector and the photographs presented, I find the respondent in non-compliance. In order the respondent come into compliance by February 5, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 23, Vincent C. Brown. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
All right, this case was a citizen's complaint, and it was opened on September 16th of 2024 for trash and debris in front of the property prior to Hurricane Milton. Since then, FEMA has picked up the majority of the debris. However, some stuff is still left out there. First notification was on September 23rd of 2024. Compliance was due by August 2nd of 2024. Last day of reinspection was January 9th of 2025. Result, non-compliance. There's been no contact with the owner. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon the testimony of our inspector and the photographs presented, I find the respondent in non-compliance. In order the respondent come into compliance by February 5, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 24, Thu Nguyen No Min and Hoa Nguyen No Trung and Na Nguyen Thi Thu. Anybody recognizing any of these names? Because I don't want to keep going and doing this, because I got a lot of them. All right, I'm assuming the respondents aren't here. That having been said, what say the inspector?
All right, this case was field generated, opened on September 19th of 2024. Overgrown vacant lot with trash and debris. First notification was on September 19th. Property was posted. Compliance was due by September 30th of 2024. Last day of reinspection was January 9th of 2025. Result, non-compliance. There's been no conversation with the owner. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
Noting the absence of the respondents, based upon the inspector's testimony and the photographs presented, I find the respondents in non-compliance. In order the respondents come into compliance by February 5, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 25, Arthur J. Rockwell and Robin Hardman. Okay, folks, if you would please state your names and be sworn by our secretary.
Arthur J. A.J. Rockwell.
Raise your hand. Do you swear from the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Mark.
Okay, folks, do you agree these violations existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
I do not.
Okay. All right, Mr. Inspector, what's the nature of the violation and how have these folks violated it?
All right, this case was field generated, opened on September 24th of 2024. Commercial vehicles parked on an unapproved surface on a vacant lot. First notification was on October the 1st. Property was posted. Compliance was due by October the 11th. Last day of reinspection was January 9th. Result, non-compliance. There's been no contact from the owner. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff. Basically, they purchased this property, I think it was around the middle of last year, and they moved all those commercial vehicles on vacant lots, residential vacant lots. One is a commercial vacant lot with no approved site plan with the city. And you just can't just do that. Prior to that, the lots were both vacant.
They were what now?
Prior to them moving in, the two lots, because there's two cases, both of those lots were vacant.
All right, what say the respondent?
The lots were not vacant. We moved the equipment and stuff out that was before there. You can look at aerial photographs. It was used for storage of vehicles, boats, boat trailers, that kind of stuff. We moved that stuff out. May have been lower than the fence and harder to see, but it was definitely not vacant. Like he had stated, I've bought the property less than 6 months ago. In the due diligence period, I reached out to the city and was referred to Mr. Jim Morse, and I met with just Mr. Jim Morse during the due diligence project time, and told him what we were going to do with the property. We had another business with the equipment in New Smyrna Beach, and we were acquiring the existing business and continuing to operate it as it is now. Good feedback before I bought the property. Since I bought the property, and the property is 4 commercial industrial lots and 1 small residential lot, to my understanding. Since I bought the property, we've been flooded twice. We've had 2 hurricanes. The property's been flooded twice. I've got pictures if we can show you the pictures. We've been broke into 3 times with considerable theft.
What's to be broken into? You mean the
I
fence?
cut the fence, climbed the fence. I mean,
Okay.
it's kind of in a.
I just want to be clear, there's no structure on the property. I'm
Yeah, there
saying
is
other than the
structures.
fence.
There is structures. He didn't take it, and it's not a vacant property. There is 2 structures. There's a structure that we're running the business that we moved from.
Where
New
is that
Smyrna
in
Beach,
relation to what I'm looking at?
just on the other side of the trailers and the vehicles.
Okay, so there's a building over there.
There's 2 buildings, 2 businesses, 2 buildings. So it's not, none of it's vacant property. There's a business run out of 1 structure, and there's the existing business that's been there for 33 years that we acquired, run out of the other structure. Like I say, we've had a pretty rough start with the city. I mean, Jim Morris was very helpful to me when we was looking at it, but with 2 hurricanes, multiple break-ins, now having code violations for something that we checked into during the due diligence period before the purchase of the property, and were told it would be okay. After we received that, I left a message for the code inspector. I didn't hear from him till the next day. I reached back out to Mr. Morris. He said he had set up a meeting. He set up a meeting. There was at least 8 people on a conference call. We had a conference call for about 45 minutes regarding this. And also, when we had talked with him, because we were wanting to build another building and add approximately 35 jobs to the existing business that's been here for 33 years. Very helpful before the fact. After the fact, we've run into roadblocks with permitting because there's no stormwater system capacity in the whole area. So that was one issue, and the other issue was this zoning issue. The zoning issue is not simply cut and dried. The zoning issue that we're talking about today has been before this panel before. The residential lot that was a house.
What is the zoning issue?
The residential lot. I was only served with one of these, so we're talking about 2 cases. The one that you got 25 that we're talking about, and then also I just seen on the agenda today. I didn't know anything about the case on 26, the agenda item. All I was ever served with was the 25.
No, sir, you were served with both cases.
Okay, what is the connection of is 26 a different property?
26 is a commercial property.
Is it the same property?
That it's not vacant. It says it's used a vacant property, storage of vehicles on vacant property. We do stormwater maintenance, repair
Time
work,
out,
and that kind of
just a
stuff.
second.
That's what's stored on the property.
Okay. Cases 25 and 26, do they involve the same property?
Correct. It's 5 parcels.
5 parcels. 4 of them are commercial, 1 of them's residential.
Correct.
2 businesses.
Correct.
Okay.
And on the 2 parcels that is before Your Honor, there's no permanent structure on those parcels that would make them considered a vacant parcel.
Can we zoom out on the aerial?
Like on
Yeah,
that
it's
parcel
cutting
right
the
there,
structures off. The structures
because
are
that's considered 1 parcel. Okay, right next to it is the other case, which is the residential vacant lot. There's no structure on that building, on that parcel. So both of these parcels, per Volusia County property appraisers, are listed as a vacant commercial structure, not structure, but parcel, and a vacant residential parcel.
So the red box he's got right now is case 26. Case 25 that we're starting with here is the one to the right of that.
Listed right there, vacant commercial.
Case 25 has been before this panel before. It was fenced out, and AAA Fence was contracted to fence it in because of zoning violations and stuff with the previous owner, because it was a high crime area. There was a house located on there that was being used by vagrants for multiple crimes. The owner didn't want to fence it in if he could not use it. So it came before this panel before because if he was going to spend, AAA Fence charged him $16,800 to fence that in with industrial fence. I mean, that's not a white picket fence they put around a residential lot. It was fenced in. There was concessions made by this panel before that there would not be an entrance allowed off of Cedar Street to use those as industrial. If there was only one entrance off of Loomis Avenue and through the industrial parcels, then all 5 parcels could be used contiguously for the same purpose, which we are still currently using them for. There's still only one entrance through the industrial, and it's still being used as it was before this panel in the past.
You keep saying before this panel doesn't have the authority to do any of that.
There was zoning issues. There was zoning issues with it before.
So was this like a board of variance or
to my understanding.
Okay, because that's not me. So quit challenging my Alzheimer's here. All right. And if I understand what you're saying, is that these are not vacant lots. These are contiguous to an active business.
Correct.
Saying. Now, the red outline is commercial property.
Correct.
The unoutlined portion to the right of it, that's residential property.
Correct.
Both,
And you
both
own
vacant.
both of these parcels.
Correct.
And where is the commercial business located on the red
Looking
outlined
at this picture,
parcel?
to be just to the north, right against that property line.
So there's a building there out of which business is conducted. What do these trucks have to? What do these trucks have to do with that business? What's the business?
We do stormwater maintenance and construction and repairs, lakes, canals.
So that's what these trucks are for.
Correct. When we had the flooding, we took equipment that I own off of this property, and we cleared 50 square blocks, over 50 square blocks for the city of Daytona's high water vehicles, because the high water vehicles could go through the flooding, but when there was poles and trees down blocking the road, they couldn't go through there. I did that, on my dime. I did not ask for reimbursement for it, but the city high water vehicles, the police department, couldn't get to rescue people. We took equipment that's parked on this property and cleared the streets, and I've got pictures of it if you'd like to see it.
No, I'll take your word for it. All right, so let's get back to case number 25.
Yeah, I've got pictures of the buildings here as well that they're saying that there's no.
I'll take your word for it. Case number 25 is the parcel that is not outlined on this
Correct.
photograph. That's the residential area.
Correct.
And the notice of violation I'm looking at is multiple vehicles stored on commercial vacant lot.
Mr. McKelvey.
I don't understand the violation.
Yeah, if I may, it appears that a lot more has happened than what we know about. And I would like to ask if we can continue this so we can look into, he says he's met with the deputy city manager.
City officials.
He says he's met with other people in the panel as well. We're not aware of this. No one in code is expressed knowledge of that. Neither do I have any knowledge of what has transpired in that regard. Would like to be able to have that information before we make additional decisions regarding this case.
this was a surprise to me too, because I was told to hold off, and then I would hear back from somebody from Mr. Jim Morris's office or somebody, or he would get somebody in contact with me. So when I received these violations between Christmas and New Year's, it was a surprise to me. I called Mr. Jim Morris's office last week and left a couple messages, and I haven't. People's busy because people had time off through the holidays, and I know stuff stacked up on people's desks, but I was surprised that I didn't hear from that office before I received these notices.
Understand.
All right, case 25, multiple vehicles stored on commercial vacant lot. That's the red outline lot. Case number 26, multiple vehicles stored on residential vacant lot. That was the unoutlined,
Correction,
adjoining lot. And all these lots are contiguous, and all these lots serve the business you tell me that
Correct.
out of sight but is on the property. All right, so what is it you're looking for, Counselor? I assume you're looking for me to continue any determination with regard to cases 25 and 26 until the city has an opportunity to look into some of the representations made by the respondent.
That's correct.
Have any objection to that?
I do not, sir.
Am I continuing this to a date certain?
This is the next cutoff. We'll either know that we need to get some things done and taken care of based on deciding and whether or not they're cited properly, or we'll recite them for whatever. If there is something to cite for, we'll dismiss it if there's nothing to cite for.
So you want me to just
So
continue
if we can continue to next meeting, continue to the next meeting, and either it's resolved or we'll be given direction.
He
I'm
suggested
sure
that I
we can have
continue
some-
this to our February 5th meeting. Do you want to be heard on that? Got any gripe about that?
No, that's fine.
All right, then I'm going to continue cases 25 and 26 to the February 11, 2025 meeting. To allow the parties to do a little more homework and determine whether these matters are going to be pursued. And if they are, then presumably we'll hear them on February 11th, or we'll at least hear why we're not hearing them. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Case number 27, William Kistner Estate. Anyone here for the William Kistner Estate? Not seeing anybody. What say the city?
All right, this case was field generated and opened on October the 7th of 2024, overgrown vacant lot with trash and debris. First notification was on October 14th. Property was posted. Compliance was due by October 24th. Last day of reinspection was January 9th of 2025. Result, non-compliance. There's been no contact from the owner. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon the testimony of our inspector and the photographs presented, I find the respondent in non-compliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by February 5, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 28, Darren Ottman. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent. What say the city?
All right, this case was a citizen's complaint opened on November 21st of 2024 for outside storage of pallets, vehicles, trailers parked on a vacant lot. First notification was on November 21st of 2024. Compliance was due by November 26th of 2024. Last day of reinspection was January 10th of 2025. Result, non-compliance. There's been no contact from the owner. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon the inspector's testimony and the photographs presented, I find the respondent in non-compliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by February 5, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 29, Daytona Universal Trucking Incorporated. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent. What say the city?
All right, this case was also a citizen's complaint opened on November 21st of 2024. Vehicles parked on a vacant lot. First notification was on November 21st of 2024. Property was posted. Compliance was due by November 26th of 2024. Last day of reinspection was January 10th of 2025. result non-compliance. There's been no contact from the owner. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance with compliance with next cutoff.
Noting the absence of the respondent based upon the inspector's testimony and the photographs presented, find the respondent in non-compliance, order the respondent come into compliance by February 5, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 30, Daytona Universal Trucking Incorporated. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
All right, Your Honor, this is a repeat violation case. All right, so this would be the third one. So this is a repeat violation case for the vacant lot at 550 Foot Court. The first case goes back to June 21st of 2022 for outside storage of pallets, commercial vehicles, trailers, etc. on a vacant lot that is being used to run a commercial business in a residential zone. The last time this property was in compliance was on January 4th of 2023 under the original case SMG 09-22-267. A will fine was ordered and dated on January 25th of 2023. The first repeat violation case was in November of 2023 under SMG 11-23-268 for Daytona Universal Trucking, received a repeat violator fine of $200 per day for being in non-compliance on 5 occurrences, equaling fines up to $1,000. The second repeat violation case was in June of 2024 under SMG 06-24-95 against Daytona Universal Trucking, was fined $1,000 per occurrence inspection, equaling a $10,000 fine. This is the third repeat violation case for Daytona Universal Trucking for being in non-compliance. This case was opened on November 21st of 2024 after receiving a citizen's complaints. Inspections were completed on the following days: November 20th of 2024, November 26th of 24, December 3rd of 24, December 10th of 2024, December 17th of 2024, December 24th of 2024, December 30th of 2024, January 2nd of 2025, January 6th of 2025, and January 13th of 2025. Staff is requesting a fine for the repeat offender of $5,000 per occurrence per inspection, equaling $50,000.
And we've heard nothing from the respondent?
No, sir. He doesn't care. The previous case at 119 Helm Street, 2 cases prior to this one, he's also pretty much using that lot to park his excess equipment on that lot.
Where's Foot Court?
It's right off of ISB, right behind the Checkers on the corner of ISB and MLK. As you cross the Checkers, it'll be your first right-hand turn, and then that'll be Helm. You'll see what's going on Helm Street. Then when you make that left-hand turn on Foot Court, you'll see this going on right there.
If this is 8 occurrences at 5,000, it would be 40,000 max.
He counted 10 occurrences. Thought we were talking about 10 occurrences.
Oh, okay, maybe that's why I got to 50. All right.
Yeah, 10 occurrences.
Okay.
That's what I counted.
Okay, good.
All right. Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon the testimony of our inspector, taking into consideration the respondent's awareness of the will fine, given in the past history, and the repeat violations, I'm finding the respondent the sum of $5,000 per occurrence, finding that there have been 10 occurrences, And I'm finding the respondent the sum of $50,000. Anything else I need to say?
No, that covers it.
All right, case number 31, Daytona Blue Tide Group LP. Anyone here for the respondent? All right, what say the city?
Our respondent was first notified on July 18th of 2024. Since last November, there's been contact with some emails with Mr. Hopkins. The overgrown area of the lot was cut on December 20th of 2024. However, piles of debris, tree limbs, trash, refrigerator was left on the lot. Staff requests a fine of $250 a day with a max fine of $50,000. And the second part to this case, they're still trying to get approval from the federal agencies and local agencies to authorize the dredge project that they can use going forward for a staging area.
Okay, the order says includes language with regard to all matters other than the permit application. What property is this?
That's the one on ISB as you go over the bridge.
Property on the left?
Yes, sir.
One that's supposed to be a marina someday?
Correct. In this
They
case
didn't
first,
finish cleaning it up like they said they were going to?
they did move all the commercial equipment off the concrete staging area, and you told them they were fine with that, but they needed to clean up the grassy area as you drive into the property. They were supposed to have that done, I believe, by January the 9th, I believe was the cutoff. That's the grass area that they did clean, but they left piles of debris, a refrigerator right there you can see all over that property.
Noting the absence of the respondent based upon the testimony of our inspector as well as the photographs presented, I'm fining the respondent the sum of $250 per day commencing January 8, 2025. These are for all matters other than the permit application.
Correct.
And that fine will continue to accrue each day thereafter until the respondent is in compliance or the amount of the fine has reached the sum of $50,000.
Mr. Kelsey, can we take a quick,
Yes, and we're going to take about a 10-minute break. For any of you people who are out here who are on the balance of the agenda, if you'll let our secretary know what your case is, we'll go straight to your cases. Because we only have a few people left here, so if you'll let the secretary know which case is yours, then we'll go straight to your cases when we resume. We're going to take about a 10-minute break.
I'll ask IT if we have any waiting on Zoom. IT, do we have any waiting on Zoom?
Yes, 32 and 33.
Okay.
I have 32, 33, 37, and 41.
I don't have a respondent for 37.
Very good. Thank
Okay.
you.